Ever get that feeling when you're doing a tarot reading and like you keep pulling card after card from the Minor Arcana
Yeah.
and it's like, where are all the big dramatic Major Arcana cards?
Yeah.
It can be kind of let down sometimes, right?
Definitely easy to dismiss them.
But here's the thing, those minor cards, they're actually the secret sauce. They hold so much wisdom about our everyday lives, the kind of insights that can really help us navigate those tricky situations, understand our relationships, and make choices that are aligned with our truest selves. We've got some great info from biddytarot.com and tarot.com to help us kind of uncover the magic of the minor arcana, so to
Right.
speak.
You're looking for a deeper understanding of how they work and what they can tell you, right?
Exactly. We're going beyond those basic interpretations and really diving deep into the heart of these cards,
So, out of the 78 cards in a tarot deck, 56 of them are minor arcana.
which is a lot. So
Yeah.
clearly they're important, but what makes them different from the major arcana?
Think of it like this: if the major arcana are like the epic turning points in your life, the moments that redefine who you are, the minor arcana are the day-to-day scenes that make up your story. They deal with the nitty-gritty details, the relationships, the work stuff, the little wins and challenges that we face on a regular basis. They might not be as dramatic, but they're the stuff that life is actually made of.
Okay, I like that. It's like the minor arcana is giving us the close-up view, the inside scoop on how those big overarching themes from the major arcana are actually playing out in our everyday lives. So how do we start to make sense of all these cards?
Well, the first thing to understand is that the minor arcana is divided into four suits: wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. And each of these suits has its own unique energy and area of life that it governs.
Okay, so it's like four different lenses through which to view our experiences. Let's start with wands. What's their vibe?
Wands are all about that fiery creative energy. Think passion, willpower, taking initiative, and pursuing your goals with enthusiasm. Let's say you're feeling stuck in your job, maybe even a little burnt out. Looking at Wands cards in a reading might reveal whether it's a lack of passion, maybe that Five of Wands pops up, or if it's more about needing to take initiative and step into your power, the Ace of Wands could be a sign of that.
Ooh, that's a great example. It's like the wands are showing us how to reignite that inner spark and move forward with purpose.
Okay, what about cups? They seem a bit more flowy.
Yes, cups are all about the realm of emotions, intuition, and relationships. They're about connecting with your feelings, nurturing yourself and others, and really diving deep into the depths of your emotional world. Let's say you're feeling confused about a relationship. Cups cards might help you understand whether you're communicating your needs effectively. The Three of Cups could indicate a need for more open communication, or if you're holding on to past hurts that are blocking you from experiencing true intimacy. The Five of Cups often points to unresolved emotional baggage. Wow, that's so insightful. It's like the cups are showing us how to navigate those murky emotional waters with more awareness and compassion. Okay, now for swords. They always make me a little nervous.
Swords can be a bit intense, it's true. They represent the realm of thoughts, words, and actions. But remember, even though they often point to challenges, conflicts, and the need to make tough decisions, they also represent mental clarity and using your voice to cut through illusions. Let's say you're facing a major decision. Swords cards could help you determine whether you're overthinking things. The Seven of Swords suggests a tendency to get lost in mental loops, or if you need to be more assertive and stand up for what you believe in. The King of Swords often signifies a need to take charge.
That's so helpful. It's like the swords are showing us how to use our minds effectively, both to navigate challenges and to access our inner wisdom. All right, last but not least, let's talk pentacles. What's their vibe?
Pentacles are the grounded, practical energy of the minor arcana. They deal with the material world, your finances, your work, your health, your home, and your long-term goals. Imagine you're feeling financially insecure. Pentacles cards could offer clues about whether you're being too impulsive with your spending. The Five of Pentacles might indicate a need for better budgeting, or if you need to be more resourceful and tap into your skills to create more abundance. The Queen of Pentacles is all about resourcefulness and creating a solid foundation.
Okay, I love how each of these suits offers such practical guidance for real-life situations. It's like having four different toolkits for navigating those everyday challenges and opportunities.
Exactly, and here's where it gets even more interesting. Within each suit, we have cards numbered from Ace to 10. And each of these numbers represents a stage in a cycle, a journey from beginning to end. It's like a mini story unfolding within each suit.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me about this numerical journey.
Well, imagine the ace as a seed filled with potential. It's the spark of an idea, the beginning of a new venture. the raw energy that's waiting to be manifested. As we move to the twos, that seed starts to sprout. Now we have two directions to grow and choices to be made, and a need to find balance between those choices.
So it's like the twos are about making those initial decisions that will shape the direction of our journey.
Precisely. And as we move to the threes, that little sprout starts to reach out, connecting with others, finding its place in the world, and creating something new through collaboration and communication. It's a time of growth expansion and sharing your gifts with the world.
It's amazing how each number builds upon the previous one. So what happens next in this mini story?
Well, after all that outward expansion, we need some stability. That's where the fours come in. They represent structure foundation, a time to pause, consolidate your gains, and create a solid base for future growth. It's like that plant putting down strong roots to support its continued evolution.
Ah, so it's like taking a breather before the next phase of growth.
Exactly. And as we know, no journey is without its challenges, which brings us to the fives. These cards often represent conflict, obstacles, setbacks, and the need to adapt and overcome difficulties. It's like our little plant is now facing a sudden storm, having to find a way to bend with the wind and weather the challenges.
But it has to survive somehow, right?
It does, and that's where the sixes come in. They represent resilience growth through challenges, problem solving, and finding a way to move forward despite the obstacles. It's like our plant has learned to bend with the wind, finding creative solutions, and even becoming stronger as a result of the challenges it's faced.
I love that. It's like those inspirational quotes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, so we've made it through some tough times. What happens after we overcome those challenges?
Well, that's where the sevens come in. They often represent faith, perseverance, trusting your intuition, and maintaining your inner strength even when things are uncertain. It's like our plant, having weathered the storm, is now more deeply rooted, more resilient, and ready to reach for the sunlight once again.
So it's about having that inner knowing that even when things are tough, we have the strength and wisdom to make it through. What about the eights? What energy do they bring?
Eights are all about movement change, taking decisive action and aligning your efforts with your goals. It's like our plant, having survived the storm and put down those deep roots, now has the energy and resources to really start flourishing, to branch out in new directions and manifest its full potential.
I'm sensing a theme here of continuous growth and evolution. So as we approach the end of this numerical cycle, what do the nines represent?
The nines are all about culmination, nearing completion, enjoying the fruits of your labor, and recognizing how far you've come. It's like our plant is now full-grown, blossoming, and sharing its gifts with the world.
It's like that feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment when you've put in the work and are starting to see the results.
Exactly. And finally, we reach the tens, which represent endings, completion, closure, and the culmination of a cycle. It's like our plant has reached the end of its natural lifespan, but its seeds are scattered, ready to start the process anew.
Wow, that whole numerical journey is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's like a metaphor for life itself.
It really is. And here's a key takeaway for you. The specific meaning of each numbered card builds upon this numerical foundation. For example, the Ten of Cups, often seen as a card of happiness and fulfillment, isn't always about achieving some picture-perfect external reality. Sometimes it's a warning against seeking validation from outside sources rather than cultivating genuine inner peace.
Whoa, that's deep. So it's about understanding those subtle nuances and layers of meaning within each card.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the four suits and the numbered cards from ace to 10. I'm dying to see how all of this comes together in actual card interpretations. Let's talk about those mysterious court cards.
The court cards are fascinating. They add another layer of depth and complexity to the Minor Arcana.
Can't wait to learn more.
All right, you ready to unpack some court cards?
Bring it on. I'm ready to meet the royalty of the Minor Arcana.
They can be quite a cast of characters. Now, the court cards can represent actual people in your life, different aspects of your own personality, or even approaches to a situation.
Okay, so they're like those multifaceted friends who can surprise you with their hidden depths.
Exactly. And each court card has a unique archetype associated with it, adding even more layers to their meaning.
Okay, I'm all about layers. Let's start with the pages. What's their deal?
Think of the pages as messengers bringing new information, fresh perspectives, and a sense of youthful curiosity. They're often about beginnings, exploring new possibilities, and being open to learning, like a student embarking on a new adventure.
So like that friend who's always signing up for new classes or diving headfirst into a new hobby.
Exactly. They're eager to learn and experience everything life has to offer, For example, the Page of Wands could be that friend who suddenly decides to learn how to play the drums, or who spontaneously books a trip to a foreign country just to see what happens.
I love that image. They're not afraid to jump in and see where the current takes them. What about the knights? They seem a bit more action-oriented.
Definitely. Knights are all about taking that initial spark from the pages and transforming it into real-world action. They pursue their goals with passion, courage, and a sense of adventure. But just like a knight charging into battle, they can sometimes be a bit impulsive or reckless.
Oh, so it's like they need to temper that fiery energy with a bit of strategy and forethought.
Exactly. For example, let's say you're considering a career change, but you're afraid to take the leap. The Knight of Swords might be a sign that you need to be bold and decisive to cut through your doubts and go for it. But the Queen of Pentacles might whisper a word of caution, reminding you to assess the financial stability of your new path before you quit your day job.
That's such a brilliant way to look at it. It's like each court card is offering a different perspective, a different piece of advice to help us make wise decisions. Okay, let's talk about the queens. They're the ones I'm always drawn to.
Queens are all about embodying feminine power, nurturing themselves, and others offering guidance and support and creating harmony in their environment. They represent emotional maturity, wisdom, and the ability to manifest abundance in all areas of life.
So they're like the wise women, the mentors, the ones you go to for a shoulder to cry on or a pep talk when you need it most.
Exactly. And each queen expresses her power in a way that's aligned with her suit. For example, the Queen of Cups is like the ultimate therapist friend. She's deeply intuitive, compassionate, and knows how to hold space for your emotions without judgment. She reminds us to listen to our hearts and prioritize our emotional well-being.
I need a Queen of Cups in my life. What about the Queen of Pentacles?
She's like the ultimate Earth Mother.
Yeah.
She's grounded, practical, resourceful, and knows how to create a sense of warmth, comfort, and abundance in her home and in her life. She reminds us to connect with nature, appreciate the simple things, and take care of our physical needs.
Okay, I'm starting to see how each queen is like a masterclass in feminine energy. Last but not least, let's talk about the kings. They seem like the most authoritative figures in the court cards.
Kings represent masculine energy at its most evolved. They're about leadership, taking responsibility, using their power wisely, and creating structure and stability in the world. But it's not about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself and using your influence for the greater good.
So it's like they've integrated the lessons of all the other court cards and have stepped into their full potential. What would be an example of a king showing up in a reading?
Let's say you're feeling scattered and unfocused in your work. Pulling the King of Wands could be a sign that you need to step up as a leader, define your goals with clarity, and inspire others with your vision. It's a call to take ownership of your creative power and channel it in a focused and productive way.
Ooh, that's powerful. It's like a reminder that we all have the potential to be kings and queens in our own lives. We just need to tap into that inner authority and wisdom.
Exactly. The court cards offer such a rich tapestry of archetypes and energies that can help us understand ourselves and the people around us on a deeper level.
Okay, I have to ask, what if I do a reading and it's mostly minor arcana cards? Does that mean it's not as important or insightful as a reading with lots of major arcana cards?
Not at all. A minor arcana heavy reading simply means that the focus is on the everyday matters, the current circumstances, and the short-term influences in your life. It's like getting a detailed snapshot of what's happening in your day-to-day world, and it can offer incredibly valuable insights into how to navigate those situations with more awareness and skill.
So it's like the minor arcana is giving us the practical guidance we need to navigate the terrain of our everyday lives, while the major arcana is revealing the bigger picture, the overarching themes that are shaping our journey.
Precisely. And here's a pro tip for you. If you do have a reading that's mostly minor arcana, pay attention to any major arcana cards that do show up. Those major arcana cards can provide context and reveal the deeper lessons and karmic patterns that are connected to those everyday situations.
Ooh, that's a great point. It's like the major arcana is giving us the aerial view of the landscape, while the minor arcana is showing us the details of the path we're walking on.
Exactly. They work together to give you a more complete and nuanced understanding of your current situation.
This is all so helpful. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand how these minor arcana cards really work. They're not just about predicting specific events. They're offering a whole new language for understanding ourselves and the world around us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. The minor arcana is like a mirror, reflecting back to us the patterns and choices that are shaping our lives. And by understanding those patterns, we can make more conscious decisions and create the life we truly desire.
That's what I love about tarot in general. It's not just about fortune telling. It's about self-discovery, personal growth, and empowering ourselves to create a life that's aligned with our deepest values and aspirations. Okay, I'm ready for the grand finale. Let's talk about what happens when you pull mostly minor arcana cards in a reading. So what happens when a reading is mostly minor arcana cards? Is it a sign that things are just kind of status quo, like no major life changes on the horizon?
Not necessarily. Remember, the minor arcana is all about the everyday details, the choices we make, the way we navigate our relationships and work through challenges.
Okay, so even though they might not represent those like huge life-altering events like the major arcana, they're still giving us valuable information about how we're showing up in our lives.
Exactly. A minor arcana heavy reading might be a sign that you have a lot of agency right now, a lot of power to shape your own destiny through the choices you make and the actions you take. It's like the universe is saying, hey, you've got the tools you need to create the life you want. Now go out there and make it happen.
That's actually really empowering. It's like those minor cards are reminding us that we're not just passive passengers in our own lives, we're active co-creators.
Precisely. And here's another interesting point. Sometimes a minor arcana heavy reading can indicate that you're in a period of integration where you're putting the lessons of the major arcana into practice.
Ooh, that makes sense. It's like you've gone through some big transformative experiences, and now you're working on incorporating those lessons into your everyday life.
Exactly. It's like the seeds of wisdom from the major arcana are now taking root and blossoming in the fertile soil of your daily experiences.
This is also fascinating. I feel like I'm seeing the minor arcana in a whole new light. They're not just about those little everyday details. They're offering us a deep dive into the very fabric of our lives, the
Yeah.
choices we make, the patterns we repeat, and the potential we hold within us.
That's beautifully said. And that's what makes them such a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery.
So for all our listeners out there who are ready to deepen their understanding of the minor arcana, where would you suggest they start?
Well, the best way to learn is by doing. I encourage everyone listening to pull out their tarot decks, spend some time with each card, and really contemplate those deeper layers of meaning we've been discussing.
Great advice. And remember, there are so many amazing resources available to support you on your tarot journey. Check out the websites we mentioned, biddytarot.com and tarot.com are great starting points. And of course, there are countless books, podcasts, and online courses dedicated to exploring the rich world of tarot. Don't be afraid to experiment, explore different decks, and find what resonates with you.
That's so important. Tarot is a deeply personal practice, and there's no right or wrong way to connect with these cards. Trust your intuition and allow the cards to guide you on your own unique journey of self-discovery.
It's so true. It's all about finding what works for you and allowing the magic of tarot to unfold in its own time. Okay, I think we've given our listeners a lot to ponder today. I know I'm feeling inspired to do some more tarot journaling and explore these minor arcana cards with fresh eyes.
That's wonderful. And remember, this is just the beginning. There's always more to learn, more to discover, and the more you engage with these cards, the more they'll reveal to you.
Well said. Okay, before we sign off, I have one final question for you and for all our listeners. Imagine you're faced with a big decision. Maybe it's about changing careers, starting a new relationship, or taking a leap of faith into the unknown. How might understanding the symbolism of the minor arcana cards help you navigate that decision with more clarity, intention, and courage? What wisdom might the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings offer you? And how might those numbered cards from ace to 10 illuminate the path ahead?
That's such a powerful question. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep trusting the wisdom within you.
Happy divining, everyone.